Close your eyes for a minute, and I want you to imagine what it would be like if you were living a totally inspired life. What time would you wake up in the morning? And when you woke up in the morning, what would be the first thing that you would do? And if you had nothing else on your agenda, absolutely nothing else on your schedule, you could do whatever you want every single day of your life, what would you do? How would you fill your days? Would you pursue a passion, a hobby, something that you dreamed of when you were younger but never quite got around to doing? What would you do if you could completely design your life so that you were totally inspired living? That's what this video is about. It's about encouraging you to step outside your comfort zone and imagine actually creating that life that you dream of. You see, just over 2 years ago, Alex and I were working on cruise ships, and I'll never forget the night before our very last contract. We didn't know this was going to be our last contract, and we were sitting in a hotel room in Miami overlooking the waterway where the cruise ships come in, and we could see our ship off in the distance. We could see it sailing into port, and we didn't say a word to each other, but we've mentioned this later on, that there was this incredible sense of dread, this incredible sense of doom kind of descended upon us. And again, we didn't say anything to each other at the time. And funnily enough, before we had actually gotten onto that ship, we had been searching on the internet for stuff, it's just ways to get out of what we were doing. And we actually stumbled upon a video by Jonathan Budd, and he was running around the beach, and he just looked inspired. He looked like he was living the life of everyone's dreams. And we didn't know who Jonathan Budd was, we didn't know what MLM was, we didn't know anything, but he was someone who stuck in our minds when we got on that ship. And it's so bizarre, the power of your thoughts. You can absolutely manifest anything you want in your life. And if you haven't read these books yet, I'm going to highly encourage you to do so. The Law of Attraction, if you haven't read this is an absolute must read. And if you haven't read this one, E2, this is all about proving to you that you create everything in your life. So again, we'd never heard of MLM, we knew nothing about the industry that we're in now. And we got on that ship, and everything that could go wrong went wrong. Everything. Within a couple of weeks, I developed an autoimmune disease. I had a skin disease that was it started at my feet, started to work its way up my legs, ended up on my arms, the backs of my hands, and that was a pretty scary thing to develop. And at that exact same time, our income took an absolute nosedive. Our breaking point was opening up a check for $9.38. And that was for a week's work. And when we did the math on that one, we worked out that Alex and I had been working for 17 cents per hour that week. And you know what? There comes a breaking point. There comes a turning point in everyone's lives when you say, you know what? Enough is enough. I'm done. And that was our breaking point. We looked at each other. We were down in our art gallery. And if you can imagine this, our art gallery is the worst art gallery in the entire world. We were art auctioneers on cruise ships, so I didn't mention that already. And our desk was right at the bottom of a atrium. It was like 10 stories high. And the worst thing about where we were located was it was kind of near a buffet. So kids could throw spaghetti from like deck 10 all the way down and land on us. I mean, how humiliating can it be? You're working in an environment where people can throw food at you and you're opening up a check for $9.38. It's like, what am I doing here? And I remember I looked over at Alex across the desk, and I said to him, honey, if we work as hard in our own business as we do at this job, we would have to be successful. And so we made a very brave decision. Some said we were stupid. They said it was absolutely reckless. What are you doing? Get real. You can't just quit your jobs. But we quit. We quit right there and then. And we decided to go back home and dive into the world of MLM, multi-level marketing, internet marketing, whatever you want to call it. And we didn't know what we were getting ourselves into, but we knew what we wanted to get away from. We wanted to get away from being controlled by others. We wanted to get away from being told what we were worth. we wanted to get away from being in this matrix of rules and regulations and expectations and obligations. And I'm not gonna lie to you. In the beginning, it was a lot of work. It was a lot of study, a lot of learning how to do things. But when we look back, it was just like going to school. First year of school, you have to learn stuff. You have to learn how to read, how to write, how to do mathematics. You have to learn stuff. But these are skills that you then take with you through life, and you have them forever. And when I look back now, over the life that we've designed, I realized that the skills we had to learn, they weren't that difficult. We had to learn how to hold a camera up to our face and take a video, like I'm doing now. We had to learn how to blog, how to get, our content out to the masses. It really, looking back, it really wasn't rocket science. And over the last couple of months, Alex and I have been doing a lot of soul searching, and we were trying to work out what impact we want to have on the world. What message do we want to share with others that we may enhance the lives of others? And when it really, really boiled down to it, we realized that we want to share a message of what it means to be living a totally inspired life. Because I got sick, I realized that I needed to start looking after my health. And I couldn't look after my health, when I was working, we were working between 50 to 70 hours a week sometimes. And I knew I couldn't look after my health on ships. And so it was really important for me that I got my diet right, that I had access to clean, nutritious foods, that I had access to juices, that I had access to foods that could nourish my soul, nourish my body, which is my temple now, that I wasn't getting. I wasn't getting any nutrients, at our job. And we couldn't work out, we couldn't, get fit and healthy. It was just a toxic environment. And, speaking of toxicity, the people that were around us, it was a completely toxic environment. No one had any goals, no one had any dreams, no one was dreaming a big dream. And Alex and I have always dreamed a big dream. And, there are things that we want. And now, thanks to the fact that, we've, put in the hard yards for, a short term, we're starting to see our dreams come to fruition. One of our major goals, when we started, getting into the business that we're in, is we wanted to be debt-free. We wanted to be absolutely debt-free by the end of 2014. And that's coming true. It's been a slog, but yeah, that was a vision, that was a dream, to be absolutely debt-free by the end of 2014, and to never get in debt again, to basically have created a residual income that we can live very, very happily on what we are bringing in on a monthly basis. And I guess, one of the major things that we want to share with you about what it means to live a totally inspired life is that you have time to do whatever it is that makes you feel good, that makes you have a skip in your step, that makes you live fully with massive abundance and allows you to live authentically. It was really, really hard in our previous environment to live authentically. I've always been a little bit, I like the spiritual side of life, but in the environment that I was in before, if you mentioned the universe or you mentioned, the metaphysical side of nature and everything, people would look at me like I had 3 heads, like doo-doo. And so I shut that part of me down. But here, where I am now, I don't have to do that. I can just be authentically me. And man, that feels good. It feels good to be able to just show up and be real and know that other people's opinions, they don't matter. Nothing matters. When you're showing up as the truest, authentic version of yourself, other people's opinions of you don't matter. The only opinion that matters is yours. And when you can get to that place where you don't care and you can just live and be you, that's freedom. That's totally inspired living. So I invite you to join us on a journey of getting you to that place that you imagine when you close your eyes. Join us on a journey of totally inspired living, where you get to live your life on your terms, where you get to stand up as the most authentic version of yourself and say to the world, hey, this is me. I'm beautiful and I love my life. Because when you can show up like that, trust me, other people, they want to be around you. They want to be in your energy. They want to know what you're doing. And the more people we can impact by living life on our own terms and showing up as the most authentic version of ourselves, that has purpose. And it gives your life meaning. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I look forward to helping you create your totally inspired life. Have an awesome day.